So hello everyone. In this lecture we will be seeing about commutation of SCR. So what is commutation? I've already told you that commutation is a process of turning off the SCR. Okay. So there are two ways in which commutation is achieved. The SCR can be turned off in two ways, that is reducing the anode current below the holding current. So we have seen this already in the VI characteristics of the SCR. Okay, if you bring the current less than the holding current, then the SCR will stop conducting. And the next thing is by applying reversed bias condition along in the SCR, across the SCR. Okay, we know that the SCR conducts only in forward bias condition. If a forward biased conditioned SCR, if it is conducting and if we apply a sudden reverse bias to the SCR, reverse bias means anode is negative with respect to cathode, then the SCR will stop conducting. So these two are the ways in which we can easily achieve commutation. So there are actually two types of commutation. One is the natural commutation. It is also known as the line commutation. And the second one is forced commutation. So now let us see the comparison between natural commutation and forced commutation techniques. So first let us see the characteristics of the natural commutation. In natural commutation, actually we do not need any external circuit, okay, and this natural commutation can be easily achieved and requires AC input, because in AC input the first half of the cycle is positive, whereas the second half of the cycle is negative. Therefore easily forward bias can be changed to reverse bias, and this natural commutation is used in controlled rectifiers, AC voltage controllers and etc. And there is no power loss in this type of commutation. As I have already told you that the SCR turns off due to negative supply voltage. Okay, and there is no extra charge we need to spend for external circuit for commutation, because there is already an internal way in which, natural way in which the SCR commutates, that is the SCR turns off. Next we will come to the forced commutation. In forced commutation we actually need an external circuit, external commutating circuit, which forces the SCR to be in a turned off state to commutate actually, and this can work in DC voltage as input, and it is used in choppers and inverters. In this commutating method, power loss happens and we need to pay some money, that is there is a cost for including an external commutation. Okay, and SCR can be turned off due to voltage and current. So as I have already told you, if voltage is brought very less, or if negative voltage is applied to the SCR, that is reverse bias condition, the SCR will be turned off, or if the current is brought below the holding current, the SCR can be turned off. So in the next slide we will see different classes of commutation. So the first commutation class is class A commutation. This is also known as a load commutation. In this is the circuit diagram of class A commutator. In this what happens is, DC supply voltage is given across the SCR. So this is positive and negative. The current starts to flow from positive end to the SCR and the inductor and charges the capacitor, and via the capacitor it flows through the negative value. So you can see that the SCR will conduct once the gate pulse is given to the SCR. Okay, so the SCR will conduct once the gate pulse is given, and the current will flow from positive end to SCR to L and charges the C to the negative end. Once the capacitor is completely charged, then we will see that this voltage, this supply voltage will be equal to the capacitor charge voltage. So this end will become positive. Since this is also positive and this is also positive, both potential difference, the potential difference between these 2 points is 0. So SCR will stop conducting. So this is how class A commutation works. Okay, so next is class B commutator. The class B commutator is also known as resonant pulse commutation. So we'll see the working of class B commutator. So this is the circuit of the class B commutator, in which again DC supply is given. Okay, so what happens is, when this is positive voltage and negative voltage, so at the beginning let us take this one as the first SCR, okay, so which needs to be commutated. The gate pulse is given to this SCR and the SCR starts to conduct. So in that criteria, the current will start flowing from the positive end. It will flow via the SCR, go to the load and come back to the negative end. In the same condition, what happens is, the current will also flow via the capacitor and it will charge the capacitor. The current will also flow here, but what happens is, we are not giving gate pulse to these two SCRs. Okay, actually this one we are giving gate pulse to this SCR, but we are not giving gate pulse to T3 SCR. So the current flows in T1, that is the first thyristor, to the load and back to negative, and the current also flows via the capacitor, the inductor T2, and also to the load and come back to the negative. So to stop this, what happens is, when the capacitor is completely charged, then there will be a voltage VC across this capacitor. Now what happens is, this side is positive and this side is given as negative. So what happens is, when we apply triggering pulse to T3, then the current will start flowing via the capacitor to T3 and flow till here. So we can see that this also becomes positive. Since both the voltage points across the SCR is positive, the voltage drop across the SCR will become negligible and the SCR will stop conducting. So this is how the class B commutation works. So next is class C commutation. This commutation is also known as complementary commutation. So this is the circuit diagram of class C commutator. So what happens is, again we have DC input and we have two SCRs, okay, so, and two resistor, and there is a capacitor in between. So what happens is, when first input supply is given, it flows from positive side to R1, and let us consider that this in the SCR2 the gate pulse is given, okay, and in SCR1 the gate pulse is not given. So the current will flow from positive end via R1 through the capacitor, and while flowing through the capacitor it will charge the capacitor, okay, so then it will flow via the SCR and go back to the negative end, okay. So when we want to stop the SCR, what happens is, when the capacitor is fully charged with VC, we will supply a gate pulse to this thyristor. When we supply the gate pulse to this thyristor, the capacitor will be positive at this end and negative at this end. So the positive voltage will cause a current flowing, and this end will also become positive. Since the both ends are positive, then this SCR stops to conduct. Now the current starts to flow from positive end via R2, charging the capacitor in opposite direction, and flows from SCR1 to negative. When we want to stop the SCR1, what happens is, we give gate pulse to SCR2. So when gate pulse is given to SCR2, now this end is positive and this end is negative. Positive supply is given back to here. Since these both are positive, then SCR1 stops. So to stop SCR2, we need to give gate pulse to SCR1, and to stop SCR1, we need to give gate pulse to SCR2. So this is why this class C commutation is known as complementary commutation. So next is class D commutation or impulse commutation. This is the circuit diagram of class D commutator. So what happens is, there is a DC supply voltage given, we have a main SCR and an auxiliary SCR, okay. So when gate pulse is given to the main SCR starts to conduct. Current flows from positive end to the main SCR, then flows via the load, then come back to the negative end. In the same thing, the current will flow via the main SCR. It comes to the inductor, then goes to the diode. You can see here the diode is also forward bias, then charges the capacitor. So the plus will be on this side and minus will be on the top side. So when we want to stop the main SCR, what happens is gate pulse is given to the auxiliary SCR. So when gate pulse is given to the auxiliary SCR, the current starts to flow from the capacitor to the auxiliary SCR and it flows via flows to this point. So this point also becomes positive. So the voltage across the SCR is 0. So the SCR stops to conduct. Next is class E commutator or external pulse commutation. So in this what happens is there is a thyristor 1, there is a thyristor 2 and there is another thyristor. So what happens is this is the load. Okay, so the positive voltage is given here, DC voltage, and also there is another positive voltage given here. So what happens is first the current starts flowing via T1 when gate pulse is given to the first thyristor it will flow from T1, then it will flow through the load and go back to the negative end. So when we want to stop T1, then what happens is the voltage 2 charges the capacitor. If you can see, it will charge the capacitor with positive voltage. So when the capacitor is fully charged and if the thyristor 2 receives a gate pulse, then current will flow via the thyristor and here we will get positive voltage. Since the two terminals are in positive voltage, the voltage difference across, there is no voltage difference across this SCR. So the SCR will stop to conduct. Similarly, if you want to stop S2 also, the same procedure is followed. So with this, we have come to an end in the lecture for commutation. So let us one more time see what commutation is. Commutation is actually turning off of the SCR, which is very important, and there are two types of commutation. One is natural commutation or forced commutation. Okay, with this we have come to an end of this video lecture. Hope you all understood what is commutation. In the next lecture we will be seeing about series and parallel operation of SCR. So hope to see you all in the next lecture. Thank you and happy learning.